everybody, it's Chris. Thanks for watching. I'm here to talk today about my top 7 fantasy wideouts for 2020. There's some usual suspects on this list, no question about it. The order is interesting, and also I find interesting that there is a very clear, for me, top 5 wideouts that we should be considering as either potential first rounders or early second rounders, and a pretty big drop off from there. Let's dig right in. Let's see who we have at number 1. And you're not going to be shocked to find out that it's Michael Thomas. He's the consensus top wideout this year, which is what happens when one guy has 149 catches and the second highest wideout gets 104. It's probably not realistic to expect that kind of gap. And one theme in this video will in fact be that there are 5 wideouts who stand above the rest, but Thomas certainly has skills that make him number 1 for 2020. Let's talk about him. Thomas on a slant route is the most predictable yet unstoppable thing maybe in the entire receiving game in the NFL. Here he's in the left slot, and watch his explosion, a stutter stop to get the slot corner backpedaling, and a huge push to get his 6'3" frame between the quarterback and the defender. You can know this is coming and not be able to stop it. And then, if you're sure the slant is coming on a play like this one, where Thomas is split wide left, he'll do the same thing. He'll explode to the inside, but then he'll cross it up. He'll run a whip route to the outside. There aren't many plays on film of Thomas running past defenders on the dead run on a route because he doesn't have elite speed. But in short areas, he is so quick. And he creates amazing deception, and he's open all the time. He's number 1. He's a first-round fantasy pick in every league on the planet. He's steady, and he is awesome. Number 2 on my list belongs to a little dude who does win with speed. Outlandish, ridiculous, crazy speed. It's Tyreek Hill. This throw was actually from Matt Moore and not Pat Mahomes. And if we watch it again, just watch what game-breaking speed can do. This is not supposed to happen. The Vikings have a pretty fair safety, number 22, Harrison Smith, over the top, in addition to Trey Waynes covering Hill tightly, but Hill is just so fast on the corner route. Waynes actually does a pretty decent job of staying with him, but it is no use. And then, of course, the Chiefs will get creative with Tyreek Hill. All sorts of pop passes and wide receiver screens and throwbacks and jet screens and jet handoffs. They are dedicated to getting the ball in Hill's hands in space, and he will make a play. And just beware the argument that goes, oh, he's only 5'10". He can't be a good red zone weapon. Yeah, ridiculous speed and short area quickness plays in tight quarters sometimes too. Little dude has 8 red zone touchdowns the past 2 years combined, also known as the same number as Mike Evans over the same period. Hill is not just a deep threat. He is awesome. I'll get back to my top 7 fantasy wideouts for 2020 second, but first we're going to talk about Thursday boots. These are my original, very first pair of Thursday boots from 5 years ago, holding up incredibly well. I wear them all the time. At this point, I must have 5 or 6 pairs. I've given them as gifts to friends and family. If you're a shoe guy, Thursday boots have been featured in GQ and Esquire, lots of other places, because they are fantastic. They are great value for what you get for the money. They look great. They are way more durable than some frou-frou brand. They are made tough. They're like a work boot. I wear them all the time. Really comfortable because the midsole has a cork bed. It conforms to your foot almost right away. They break in so quickly. Tons of styles, tons of colors. Seriously, if you like shoes and boots, support Thursday because they do a great job supporting this channel. Let them know that advertising with us works. ThursdayBoots.com/HarrisFootball. Free shipping and free returns. Get a great pair of boots. All right, let's continue with my top 7 for 2020. At number 3, one of my all-time favorites. It is, in fact, Julio Jones. How does Julio win? He wins by being amazing, by being a Hall of Famer. I could show you a million plays, but how do you feel about this one? Ridiculous. He's a ridiculous human. The Eagles do nothing wrong here on defense. This ball shouldn't be thrown, but when you've got this dude, he'll just go up and make the impossible look possible. To catch it's amazing enough, but this dude got his feet down too. That deserves a wow. And from the same game, if you're wondering, does Julio still have speed? He's entering his age 31 season. This is a fourth down, end of the game, do or die, a little stop route, good blocking. But gee, you think Julio has lost a step, or at least had as of last year? No. He's still one of the fastest players in the game. I guess there are people who just don't like Julio, who freak out about his touchdowns, right? I want a guy who can score double-digit touchdowns, and Julio never does. And listen, it's annoying. Matt Ryan tends to let a defense dictate where he goes with the ball, and the defense is often doubling Julio. Calvin Ridley is there. The way I think about it is, okay, I'm not sure that Julio's actually capped at 8 touchdowns, but even if he is, he's also getting you 1,400 yards minimum and possibly like 1,800, which will make him awesome from week to week. All he did was finish number 5 last year. I have him number 3 for this year. That's one notch ahead of Davante Adams, who's number 4 on my list. He missed 4 games with a turf toe injury in 2019 and only finished as the number 29 fantasy wideout last year. But healthy, he should go right back into the top 5. Honestly, Adams and Michael Thomas have an awful lot in common. Here, Adams is split wide left against Xavier Rhodes. And does this incredibly explosive release look familiar? Adams doesn't blow you away down the field like Thomas doesn't, but that ability to go from 0 to accelerated with 1 step. This was the play that clinched the divisional round against Seattle, a 3rd and long, late in the game, slot right for Adams, and watch him. Watch him take a little hop. You see it all the time from him. It lets him bounce. It lets him surprise a defender with how fast his first step winds up being. It's like a little delay. It's like a basketball move almost. And he can make a play down the field. You can see he's not separating necessarily here, but his elite first step gets enough separation, enough distance to let Aaron Rodgers fit it right in there. The only thing I've really ever been suspect about with Adams is his hands. He's going to drop the ball several times this year. But history has just shown us the Packers are willing to live with it. When he was a young player and I saw this, I worried it might lead to a loss of trust, but it just hasn't. Adams is the engine that makes the Green Bay pass offense go. Fire him up. Number 4 wideout. And the last receiver in my top 5 for this season, he might have the best hands and the best feet in the league. It's DeAndre Hopkins, another 100-catch season for Hopkins. If you told me he's your number 1, I wouldn't get mad at you. This guy, he leaves an incredible set of catches in his wake every single season. Calls that officials get wrong in real time because they can't believe what they just saw. He couldn't have got his feet down, right? And he does. He's an absolute freak of nature when it comes to hand and foot coordination. I think there's a case to be made for any of my top 5 to finish in the top spot. And if Hopkins comes in 5th in this group, I mean, it's not because he's not great. He does have some real deep speed to him and also is just so strong. Key play in a shocking win over the Chiefs last year. He's down. This drive is over. And look, he just will not be stopped. I wonder if you think this dude is tough. He can get open just as well as these other guys. He's quote-unquote only 6'1" and 212 pounds, so he's not the size of a Julio or a Michael Thomas, but he is real strong taking a hit over the middle and bouncing back up. There is really, for me, not a lack of love for DeAndre Hopkins. If there's a tiebreaker from these other guys, it's the team switch. It's the inexperienced new quarterback, Kyler Murray. We all like him a lot, but he's not Deshaun Watson yet. It's the question about whether there are maybe some rough patches getting acclimated to the Cardinals, but Hopkins is great. Okay, for me, there just isn't that much drama in the top 5. Here's where the drama is, and regular podcast listeners and YouTube channel watchers know how much I like Kenny Golladay. There's a gap between the top 5 and him, but I have Kenny G at number 6. Golladay led the league in targets over 20 yards and targets over 30 yards last year. If you don't double Kenny Golladay, if you expect one short little corner to stay with him on a deep route, bad things will happen to you. Here he just bodies Prince Amukamara at the line and runs the slant and go. Forget it. If there's no help over the top, Galladay's a 4-5 guy, so he's not Tyreek Hill, but fast. And the player I liken him to most is A.J. Green. And like A.J. Green, the great thing about having Golladay is you're not just depending on him winning on long passes. He's 6'4", and he's as strong as you'd expect for how big he is. He can win in the red zone, too, by not even being all that open, just by being big and strong. Galladay's not a sure thing. I can't guarantee you he ends the year as a wide receiver 1, but I can say if the Lions are ready to step forward and be good and surprise us a little bit, Golladay has the ability to join the upper echelon at the position. And number 7 on my list is Chris Godwin. I whiffed on Godwin last year. He obviously benefited from Jameis Winston not having any shame. He benefited from some big scoreboard holes that Winston dug for Tampa last year and saved himself with some big plays in catch-up mode. But let's just look at a couple of plays on Godwin, why what he does should actually translate well to Tom Brady. Godwin here is lined up slot left, and it'll be a zone defense from the Lions. Godwin doesn't really need to make a great move to get open, and that's really not the kind of technician that he is just yet. But what he does do is smartly keep his cross alive, getting across a second zone linebacker to give Jameis a window to throw, and then reach up and make a nice hands catch. And then in the open field, he's just an absolute handful. And these zone beater slot routes, a certain number 12, who played for a couple decades in New England, will love those routes. And then just more of him as an open field runner. Again, a zone beater out of the slot. He's open. That's not the hard part. Just watch him take a hit and keep going. You know, this generation of running backs who play receivers, kind of, like Chris Godwin, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, even as Tampa's offense gets more under control with Brady, Godwin's skills will translate. And that's it. That's my top 7 receivers for 2020. What do you think? Leave a comment down there in the comments and tell me who I left out. Tell me who I'm too high on. Maybe you don't love Golladay there. Where's Mike Evans? Why isn't Odell Beckham bouncing right back? We'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.